Divine greetings and gratitude. Welcome to our YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Nuna. I am the seer, the poet, the writer, the witch, the keeper of the Saiyonan archives, as well as the founder of the Saiyonan Etherium. Welcome to your new spiritual safe haven. And if you are returning, hey tribe, how are you doing? How are you feeling? I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. Tonight, we're going to be doing a reading immediately. I see a card and I'm not with it, so I'm going to go ahead and put this deck away because I do not vibe with what I just seen. Trigger alert. I will definitely not be revealing that card right now. It's just, I don't like it. Anyways, yes, welcome to our YouTube channel. Real quick before we get into the reading, I just wanted to give you a quick update. So if you ended up listening to the tarot reading that I did a few days ago, I believe, it is something about redemption and retribution and things like that. I'll make sure to link it somewhere here closer to the end of the video. So make sure that you are watching the whole video to get to that point. However, I just wanted to let you know that if you tuned into that, you know that we pulled messages from that reading that we would be doing that we would be putting into a poem. I actually got the poem written and it's a spoken word piece, and it's so interesting because I was just like, wow, I don't know how I'm going to put this on YouTube, but we'll see. I might have to use a teleprompter app because if I have to stop and memorize it, it'll take a while. It will take a while. So what I'm going to do with that is just more than likely just kind of come on here and just kind of not read it off to you, but do my best to kind of perform it. And for those of you that are confused as to what I'm talking about, I am a seer, a poet, a writer, and a witch. So essentially I merged the art of poetry and magic, and I use my intuition to pull messages from tarot, from astrology, and other intuitive insights and things like that to create poems. Sometimes the insight comes from the poem itself and things like that. And then that's just kind of how I do things. The Etherium is essentially a space where you reserve your spiritual essentials. I handcraft, charge, and bless spiritual essentials to help you along your path of remembrance. These spiritual essentials are there for you to help yourself heal, expand your consciousness, and transcend beyond all pain and suffering. I don't know what this card is, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be okay, let's turn these over. So essentially what I'm doing right now is I'm going to be doing a tarot reading. I don't know how long this is going to take. However, I'm not focused on the length of time. If anything, I'm just simply focused on giving you the intuitive messages. Now, I was in the shower. At first I was going to do a reading before I took a shower, and I was like, nope, I'm going to do the reading after the shower because it's definitely that time and I didn't want to wait. And plus I just felt I just didn't feel right, doing the reading without taking the shower first. Doesn't matter whether or not I'm in front of someone or not. It's just hygiene. I don't like doing readings when I feel I'm not my cleanest, and so I will definitely shower before touching or doing anything. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because when I was in the shower, I asked Spirit, what was it that our soul tribe needed to hear? Like, what were the messages for our soul tribe? And then I heard the words, think beyond. And it was interesting because I was like, whoa, okay. It came right after I asked the question. And I was just like, wow, these are messages are really activated. And it was interesting because right now, what time is it right now? I don't even know what time it is on their clock. Looks like it's 12:35 a.m. currently. Yes, I am up late. I couldn't really sleep, so I decided that I was just going to be productive and do a reading to get this energy out. And after that, I'm going to make some incense, actually. I think I'm going to do Belizean Breeze. But anyway, it was Think Big. And then after that, I heard the word Lumeria. And this is so interesting because recently, or today actually, I was talking to a friend slash soul sister of mine, and I was telling her how I wanted to come up with a team, that I was ready to come up with a team, and if she wanted to be a part of that team. And she was like, yes, like I would love to be a part of that team. And she was just like, what would be the team name called? And I said, I have no cosmic clue what the team will be called. And then we just kind of like laughed, and we just like, wow. She said, I'm gonna steal that, just start saying it for everything. And then I was just like, watch me trademark it. That's so funny. But anyway, so since then and even before that, I remember talking to my fiance, and I was just like, I feel like I'm gonna start channeling intergalactic messages, because I feel like the vibes with me here are changing, and I'm gonna go into that in another talking head video. This, I just kind of want to focus on the reading. Right now I'm just kind of rambling, and well, not really rambling, I'm just here talking to you, chatting with you. I'm hoping that at this point you've grabbed some tea, some coffee. I don't know if you drink wine. I don't, or whatever. If you drink Coronas, I don't. I don't know what you drink. What you do is your biz. What you do is your biz. I'm also getting a hit of something fizzly or like fuzzy, and I just heard the word 8-ball. I don't know what you guys are drinking on, but anyway. Yes. Oh, I just heard the word fruit punch. Okay. I don't drink any liquor, any alcohol. I don't drink things that are sweet, because, my body I just can't do the sugar. So the message was think big, and then I heard the word Lemuria. And then I got the feeling of something that was very much like this one wanted to come out. I got this like wild feeling, and it was just so, I don't know, like it just felt like really intergalactic, like someone kind of like opening themselves up as a channel. Oh wait, no. Oh, okay. I don't know what these cards are yet. We're just going to go ahead and get into it. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this into a, I don't know. Am I going to pull tarot? I'll pull it after. So essentially, again, the message that came through was think big. And upon that, I just got this feeling of like, okay, expansion, excitement, and things like that. But it felt a lot like cosmic energy. I feel like there's going to be a lot more cosmic energy hitting the planet. Obviously, we're in the stars now, but what I mean is that there's going to be a lot more intergalactic activity happening here on Earth. I'm sensing that there's going to be people who are going to start experiencing a lot more intergalactic activity, and I'm seeing things like crystal grids, a lot more people paying more attention to crystal grids. I'm also seeing that there's going to be people who are going to start utilizing crystals and technology and their own technology at home. I'm seeing copper wires. I'm seeing people build like their own pyramids at home for energy centers and things like that. I'm seeing that someone wants to build a temple, and they want to put a pyramid in their home temple to draw in energy and intergalactic light, energy, and information. Well, because what is it all if not information anyway? So they're trying to do something where they're like this. I'm hearing like Moldavites coming through. Okay, so there's something about how something so small can send you off into this completely different dimension. Especially, I don't know if you are someone who has your affairs together and it's a part of your religious rites to engage in consuming or taking plant medicine, I want to call it. And it's kind of like when you take psilocybin, and then if you take so much of it, like I know some people like to take heroic dosages, and some people don't like to, like they like to microdose and whatnot. It's almost kind of like if you never tripped off of psilocybin, and you take, let's just say like 3.5 grams. And then the first time you take it, it's like, whoa, this little mushroom, when it's dry, this little mushroom, because of water content, you have to get the water content out. That's why I have to dry it. So when you ask me how I know that, right? Anyways, so basically, yes, when you take this little mushroom, this little magic shroom or whatever, this plant medicine, you end up in this like in a completely different dimension. And first it kind of sits you down on your ass, and it kind of makes you have this it's like a seat at the table of your own subconscious is what I like to call it, right? Like that's what psilocybin is to, to me. And then I'll say that the next step up, which I haven't tried, I'm not going to get into that here, but anyway, why am I saying this? Because there's something about the expansion of consciousness and how something so small can create or can induce this, can put you into this world of seeing beyond like your current reality. It's something really small. It could be something small like a crystal that you yourself may be sensitive to, and it kind of just shoots you off into the universe. And then you see, and I'm hearing DMT. Someone here might be looking into getting into psychedelics. I am 100% a psychedelic advocate. I 100% advocate for that. I will just say practice safely. And what I'm hearing is that they're telling you that they don't want you to use these things recreationally. What they're asking you to do is to take these things for the sake of healing and the expansion of your consciousness and for healing. That's what they're asking you to do. Someone here is a shaman is what I'm hearing. That is a newer term. They're asking you to go back to the name that predates the name shaman. And then that's where you'll find the answer, because there's something about your tribe. There's something about there's something about your tribe that has a strong connection to these other intergalactic beings. And once you start to take these things to expand your consciousness, it'll get you ready and prepare you for the information that they want to give you. But I just heard the word baby steps. They're asking for you to take baby steps so that you don't rush into this. This is not something that I just heard psychological psychosis is what I just heard. They don't want you to go into something that's going to make you have a panic attack. So they're asking for you to take your time. They're asking for you to take your time. They're asking for you to look up the name Lemuria. I'm actually going to do that. Because I feel like that's for me to look up for you. But they say that they will. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Damn. Wow. Okay. I just heard I just heard it and I just lost it. I don't think that was for you guys. I don't think that was for you. I like to use my discernment. I don't say everything that comes to my mind here on YouTube because I got to be responsible. Lumeria. There's something about, okay. Lumeria Maui Educational Retreat. Makawa, where is that? Oh, okay. It's Hawaii. That's not what I was looking for. Oh. Lumeria Maui Retreat. That's so interesting. Okay, so you could have a connection to Hawaii, to like island energy. Lemurians are described as spiritually advanced beings with profound wisdom and a deep connection to nature. They're often said to have lived in harmony with the earth, possessing a high level of consciousness and an ability to communicate telepathically. Oh my God, that's why they're saying that. Because when you allow yourself to expand your consciousness, what happens with that is you raise your vibration, and it increases your awareness. And with that awareness comes your gifts of telepathy and things like that. You can communicate without talking. It's like you can just look at someone, send them a thought, they receive it, then they send you the thought, and then you receive it. And it's like you have nothing to hide. And also what they're saying is that with that does come this responsibility of having a clean heart, because when you have a clean heart, you have nothing to hide, which can increase your chances of being more telepathic, because most people these days have so much to hide, and so they shut that part of themselves off. And I feel like there's this idea of telepathy, like increased telepathy. I'm getting a sense that, and I'm seeing into the future. I'm seeing into the future of humanity. I feel like there's going to be a lot more people. Oh my goodness. There's going to be a lot more people who are going to practice telepathy, especially because we are in the age of AI right now, right? So when you have all of these different types of energies that are here, right, mimicking humanity, mimicking the human mind, because that's what they were designed to do, to be a reflection of humanity, there are some things that you want to keep private. And I just heard that it's going to be a part of the resistance. There's something about practicing that. Okay, let's go to see what these cards are. Skull, fragility. That's interesting. Okay, skull. And then you have catalyst, Hydra. And then you have retribution. That's crazy because this is exactly what was coming through. Retribution. And I was just talking about that. I just mentioned that because I did a video. I'll link it somewhere here, but retribution, Scorpius. Okay. And then you have, okay, they're saying to put this down real quick and just kind of focus on these. So I feel like, if anything, there's something about, I just heard like someone had a head injury, but there was something about this head injury or this brain injury that someone had that it set the tone or it set the tone for your life where you became a lot more sensitive. And because there was so much attention put onto the head or the skull or this brain injury, I just heard something about like an aneurysm. It almost kind of put you in a space where you had to rely more on your intuitive body because there was something like a mix up of the brain. What I'm also hearing, okay, so I used to work for a place, and this place we used to work for or provide life skills or teach life skills to adults who had intellectual and developmental disabilities is what they called it. I like to call them abilities. These are people who think things differently, than other people like, you and I would, right? But there's something about how when you lack something in one area, you make up for it. Like some people are geniuses. Some people love chess and they can beat almost anybody in chess because that's just how their mind works. Like they may not be good with math or they may not be good with reasoning, right? In a way that we would process reasoning. They may not be, have like the best behaviors, but when you put a chess game in front of them, it's like they just know what to do. Like they just know what to do. It's like when you have people who don't understand logic very well, but they can read emotions like crazy. Like they may not be able to explain it, but they know what you need. Like they can look at you and you can make like a move, and then they're on it. They bring you a cup of coffee, or they say, "Here you go," and they give you like a coloring book, and you're just like, "How did you know that this would?" And then they just know because what you lack in one thing, you make up in another. If that makes sense. So there was something about someone's injury where they had to rely more on another aspect of themselves, where you lose one sense and then the other one is gained or amplified, right? Like someone who goes blind and then everything else, they can feel everything around them and it makes them more sensitive. And so they have to figure out another way to describe, right? Like they have to figure out another way to describe or feel, right? Like they can't, or they have to figure out like another way to see, and they see by touch, right? And things like that. Anyway, so there is something about how I feel like now when you start to take these, if you start to ingest these psychedelics or whatever it is that you have the lawful right to do, the religious lawful right to do, then you'll start to understand just how fragile life is and just how beautiful it is at the same time. And I feel like this is a time where something is being returned. Like with retribution, I'm not getting anything negative as far as like punishment is concerned, but I feel like retribution in this sense means that there's something that's being restored. There's something that's going to be gifted because something happened. And this expands your awareness. It allows you to think big and it allows you to welcome in more of these energies. You have compassion here, which makes sense with the expansion of your mind. Okay, and then you also have intuition. Exactly. It's like your intuition heightens. I wish that I could I wish that I could I wish you could see this better. It's the light, the glare. And not only that, these cards are naturally dark. That's the only thing. Anyway, that's intuition, and that makes a lot of sense. Okay, and then you also have choices. Okay, you have choices that are here. All right. It almost kind of feels like someone is reaching some type of maturity where the more that they expand their mind, the more that they think big, the more they see things, the more they zoom out. You have a really strong Jupiterian and Neptunian placement. and you have a really strong Saturn placement as well. Whoever's listening to this, you may also have a really strong Piscean placement. You could be a Pisces sun moon rising. I feel like this is the pile of, not pile, but this is the reading of someone who is a mystic, but also someone who's a leader. Like, you're a leader more than likely. I feel like the choices that you make they're asking for you to make choices out of compassion. They're asking for you to do that because there's something about the rigorous life that you've had, or you could have been someone that kind of was bullied a lot, or you could have been someone who was misunderstood a lot, and you could have been someone where you had to fight to survive. Like, you grew up in a certain place, and so it kind of changed you in a way, but they're saying that that part of you never died. It only made you stronger. But now the choice is yours. Are you going to follow your intuition and choose compassion, or are you going to continue to make these choices and then end up feeling low down, depressed, and things like that? They're asking for you to awaken. They're asking for you to remember. It looks like you're going through an awakening, and the awakening is what it looks like on the outside, right? And this is what I teach as far as the Saiyonan Path is concerned. I feel like we're all on a path of remembrance, and what looks like an awakening, what happens after that, right? You remember, right? You remember. And I feel like the transformation actually is what it looks like on the outside. It looks like you transformed into something new, but you were the seed that had all the information within you already, and that's what you're remembering, and that's what you're embodying, that information, right? That energy. Also, with compassion here and intuition, I feel like someone is just expanding. Like, your intuition is expanding, your gifts are expanding, telepathy, like you can read things more. I'm also hearing something about how you can go back in time when you touch an object. I don't know exactly what that's called. I can't remember, but you can go back in time. You can actually, and I don't know if you can do this. I've done this on several occasions. It doesn't always work, but it does work sometimes depending on how sensitive I am, where I'll pick up a crystal and then I'll say, okay, where did you come from? And then I'll hear like a name, and then I'll research it, and I'll keep researching, and then I'll find that name that links back to the country or whatever, right? So it's like that. Or if, I don't know if you can do this, but like, you know how some people, how they're able to, I can also do this, but it's not about me. It's about you, right? Like how you can look at a picture and you can tell who this person is, like what the energy is, and you can pick up certain energies by looking at a picture. Exactly. You're doing things like that. You're getting deeper into things like that. Okay, you have change here. I know it's like 12 o'clock at night and y'all are like, wow, this woman is on fire. I know, right? The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. Love that. I want to just real quick. Okay. I feel like with change, what's changing in your life at the moment is the fact that you're just tapping into so much wisdom right now. Like, you're tapping into a lot of intergalactic cosmic wisdom. And the reason is for that is because it's just simply your time. And they're asking for you to start sharing that cosmic knowledge. They're asking for you to start sharing that intergalactic wisdom. They're also saying for you to open yourself up as a channel, as another channel. So you could be someone that has a podcast or a YouTube, or, you could, be an artist, or you could be someone that knows celebrities, or you could be someone that, whoever, like, I don't know, but they're saying that they want you to add more of the cosmic messages in your music. And that's what you're meant to do. Like, they're saying that if you were to stop talking about whatever you're talking about, pop locking and dropping it and shit like that. Like, if you, and it's not to say don't have fun, but what they're saying is that they want you to bring a different sound. So you could be a musician. And I feel like I just heard binaural beats. So this could be someone who heals through sound. This could be someone who heals through music. They're asking for you to put these messages in your music. This is not me promoting anyone's music, but I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Spectrum and D-Rock the Menace. They were, oh my goodness, like, I used to just listen to them all the time. Listen to D-Rock the Menace and listen to Spectrum. Those two, And Spectrum is SPXTRM, I believe. I don't know if he still makes music or not, but I'm sure that his music is still like on Apple Music and things like that. I haven't heard anything from him in a minute, and I haven't like listened to his songs in a while. I may even go back and listen to some of his songs. I'm not really sure, but anyway, it's stuff like that. Like, you don't have to mimic that, but they're saying to go back and listen to that because that could spark something within you, right? And I feel like that's the change that's needed, and I feel like you're helping to bring change on the planet. Just mark my words, it's going to be a lot more people reporting a lot more about things dealing with different beings and stuff like that. You have root chakra here. The frequency of the root chakra, the red flower of life, stimulates passion and supports our sense of security on this physical plane, both in our bodies as well as in the physical world. So this could, I just heard the word upbringing. I feel like your upbringing is like you're moving away from the things that happened like in your childhood. They're saying for you to sit back and meditate because they're going to start making a lot more sense of the past. And when you allow this change to happen, that's how you receive retribution. Sometimes retribution can only come when we decide to move forward and when we decide to let go. Solar plexus. Wow. Oh my God. Y'all will not believe what card just came out after solar plexus. Okay. Chakra. The frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. Exactly. Because there's this, you are someone who is so sensitive, and they're asking for you to return back to those sensitivities and allow yourself to be that, because there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you were made to believe that there was something wrong with it, but that's because you didn't know how to utilize that power. And now that you know, and now that things are making more sense, now they're asking for you to return to that. But I just heard the word isolation. They're asking for you to spend some alone time. And then you have consciousness. The frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. Exactly. You're expanding your consciousness. You are expanding your consciousness. Yes, you are. And I feel like I have something in the Etherium that you can work with. You can actually work with you have the divine wisdom candle, because the divine wisdom helps you with awareness, clarity, enlightenment, intuition, insight, and truth. And these are all things that actually do connect you to the crown energy, and it does help you again to expand your consciousness, which is so funny because I remember mentioning that at the very beginning of this video about how my essentials help you to expand your consciousness, and I'll explain that in another video one of these days. And yes, so I do feel like things are expanding. You're becoming a lot more confident. They're asking for you to become a lot more confident in your in your gifts and your abilities and your talents. They're asking for you to start implementing more of that into your work, your music, your art, and things of that nature. So just be, open to receiving messages like that. If I had to pull a tarot card for you, it would be, this is just like a bonus, because pretty much we've done the reading using just oracle cards. Can you believe that? We did that reading using just oracle cards. I know the internet likes to say, oh, oracle cards, they don't go so deep. Trust me, it's the reader. It's the reader. Not everybody goes in those deeper layers. Wow. Stop it. You have the magician. Oh my God, you power manifester. You have this ability to tap into so many different dimensions. They're asking you, look at that. You have the King of Cups and you also have the Magician card. You draw so much power from your emotions, and you're learning how to handle it more. Like, you're so emotionally mature, and you're weaving, are you a waterbender? Space is in the water, y'all. Anyways, so basically I feel like with the Magician card here and the King of Cups, I feel like you're learning so much about compassion. Exactly. Compassion. Look, compassion. You can't really see it. Can you see that? Yeah, this camera is definitely having a hard time focusing. Compassion. Exactly. Okay. And then you also have, of course, the King of Cups, which he's all about compassion, for real, for sure. Anyways, that's it. That's all. Utilize the tools that you have right now in this moment, and you will go a very long way. If you need anything from me, please feel free to visit me online over at the SaiyonanPath.org. If you would like to join the Saiyonan Circle, I would highly recommend that you do that, because that is the space where we do readings and things of that nature that I'm going to start doing a lot more often behind the scenes, because I want to make sure that I have a space that is created without the dangers of being censored because of the things that we're going to be getting into. Yes, subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I'm going to be doing a lot more videos and uploading a lot more things for our collective. These readings are just they're just the tip of the iceberg. Okay. I love you. Take care, and I'll catch you in my next video.